General Zor's voice boomed through the global broadcast channels, and even though it was just a hologram, he was clearly there. His eyes were mean, his alien features hardened with a self-assurance that teetered on arrogance. Planets and species from across the galaxy listened as he made his announcement. He sneered at the people of Earth, calling them pathetic, weak, cowardly. You hide behind walls of technology and weapons because you're afraid to face your enemies with honor. Zor's lips curled into a grin, and as he spoke, his eyes were sharp. We, the GKS Empire, are tired of waiting. Earth, if you are brave enough, send your bravest fighter to face my army. Or, will you run away like I expect you to? Even though it took many light years to transmit, the message was clear. The insult, unmistakable. The pride of Earth was wounded, but not broken. Zor wanted to make Earth look weak, to display the so-called superiority of the GKS Empire. But Earth's leaders, they saw through the bravado. They knew that meeting strength with strength was exactly what Zor expected. So, they chose a different path. They would not send a fleet. They would not rally battalions. They would send a single soldier, a lone figure to stand, not just as a fighter, but as a symbol. A message, a quiet, undeniable show of strength, one that didn't rely on numbers or firepower. Shift to tense, military tone. In the Earth Federation's command center, Commander Hawk stared across the room. Facing him was their chosen warrior, Alex Bishop, calm, collected, his face unreadable. He wasn't the biggest or the most imposing, but he was one of the sharpest minds they had, a seasoned strategist, one who had faced impossible odds before. "Do you understand the nature of this mission, Bishop?" Hawk asked. His tone was firm, yet respectful. "The GKS Empire wants to test us, and we're answering with you. Alone. No backup, no easy escape. This isn't just combat, it's a message." Alex gave a small nod, a slight smirk tugged at his lips. "Then let's give them a lesson they won't forget." Hawk allowed himself the faintest smile. "Precisely. Show them our power isn't in numbers, it's in our strength, our will, suit-up montage, our emotional undercurrent." Later, as Alex suited up, a quiet resolve settled over him. He wasn't just going into battle, he was representing Earth, and he accepted that weight, because this wasn't about winning a fight. It was about changing how the galaxy saw humanity. Cut to desolate battlefield, cinematic tone. The desolate moon was vast and silent, save for the heavy breath of 100 alien soldiers. The GKS army stood in perfect formation, armor glinting beneath, distant starlight, and at the front stood General Zor. Larger than life, more intimidating in person than any hologram could convey. He looked down at Alex with amusement, bordering on contempt. "So, Earth's answer to my challenge is you, one human, against the might of the GKS Empire?" He laughed, a cruel, echoing sound that rippled across the silent moon. His troops joined in. But Alex didn't flinch. He looked Zor squarely in the eye. "One is all you'll need to understand Earth's strength." Combat begins. Intense, measured voiceover. Zor's amusement flickered. Annoyance now danced beneath his confident expression. "Bravado won't save you, human. You've made a grave mistake." Alex's voice was calm, steady. "No, General. It's you who underestimates. I'm not here to overwhelm you. I'm here to redefine what you think power means." With a hand signal, Zor ordered a squad of alien troops forward. They moved with flawless precision, expecting a swift and easy takedown, but Alex was ready. With trained eyes, he studied every movement, and when the first soldier lunged, Alex stepped aside, a twist, A strike. A fall. One by one they attacked, and one by one, Alex dismantled them, fluid, efficient, controlled. Within seconds, they were sprawled across the ground, stunned and defeated. The alien ranks shifted. The murmurs began. Zor's grin vanished. Verbal duel. Rising intensity. Is this some kind of trick? Zor growled. Is this cowardice? Alex shook his head. No trick. No deception. Just a demonstration. You came looking for brute strength. What you got was strategy. Another squad was sent. Larger, more cautious. But again, Alex adapted, moved like water, turned their weight against them. Disarmed, disoriented, defeated. Zor's fury was building now. You think this is enough to sway me? One man's agility does not speak for a planet's might. Alex's eyes never wavered. No, General, our strength isn't in numbers, it's in will. One of us represents billions, because every single one of us would fight for what we believe in. The alien soldiers began to fidget, their once mighty confidence now fraying. And in that moment, Zor understood. This was no ordinary battle. This was symbolic. Final act. Quiet power growing respect. Zor sneered again. You have guts, human, but courage alone does not win wars. Alex smiled faintly. Maybe not, but it's the foundation. And you've just seen that even one of us can challenge you. Imagine what all of us could do. Zor fell silent. He didn't have a reply. The GKS army watched, not mocking now, not laughing, but listening, because they'd seen it. Not just skill, not just speed, but unshakable resolve. Closing narration, steady, resolute tone, as the battlefield settled into uneasy silence. Alex stood alone, surrounded by thousands, and yet unmoved. He wasn't just a fighter. He was a message, a warning. That humanity's strength isn't in its weapons. It's in its will, and even if Zor threw 1,000 more soldiers his way, Alex would still be standing, because Earth doesn't break. It endures. Though it was edged with irritation. Human, you've proven to be resourceful. I'll give you that. But surely you understand that this won't last. Your tactics may confuse and delay, but they cannot beat the will of an empire. Alex responded, his voice even, carrying a hint of anger. Perhaps. But I think it's your soldiers who might argue. They didn't expect resistance, did they? They expected surrender. He looked straight at the line of G soldiers, his gaze intense, challenging. I'm not here to beat an empire, General. I'm here to show your soldiers what one person's determination can do. Against thousands. The soldiers shifted, a subtle wave of doubt rippling through their ranks. Zor clenched his jaw, his frustration obvious. For the first time, he could see that this human's presence had begun to unravel the assumed loyalty of his own forces. The faith they had in him and in the Empire's might had faltered, and Alex's words had ignited something uncomfortable in them, a knowledge that they were up against more than just a lone soldier. You're wasting your breath, Zor snapped, though his tone carried the atmosphere of uncertainty. They know their duty. They will fight, regardless of your silly psychological games. Alex tilted his head, a slight smile breaking his calm attitude. Games? No, General. This isn't a game. This is about the very cause we fight. Maybe that's why you don't understand. You fight to conquer. We fight to protect. He paused, allowing his words to settle. There's a difference, and it's that difference. That's unsettling your troops. Right now. Zor's glare hardened, his pride forcing him to push forward despite the doubt settling among his men. He barked an order, sending forth another line of soldiers. This time, larger, more heavily armed. The men advanced, but their steps were hesitant. A reluctance in their movements that hadn't been there before. Alex could sense it. He adjusted his approach. Every move reinforced the doubt he had seeded in their minds. As he attacked the new squad, he fought not with reckless violence, but with deliberate precision. He dismantled their formation with minimal force, saving his strength, moving with calculated efficiency. Each strike he gave served not just to incapacitate, but to demonstrate control, an unspoken message to the alien forces. Power wasn't only in brute strength, but in restraint, in purpose. The men, one by one, found themselves unable to hold their ground. Every move Alex made seemed to anticipate theirs, as though he knew their plan before they did, and as each fell, the others looked to one another, doubt turning to dread. They began to question not only their strength, but the very purpose of their mission. They had come to show their superiority, yet here they were, falling to one man, who was outmanned in every conventional sense, except in his resolve. General, Zor's anger reached a boiling point. His soldiers, once invincible in their eyes, now seemed vulnerable, exposed. Their pride, once unshakable, had fractured under Alex's relentless composure. He felt the authority he had over his men slipping. Their trust in him and in the Empire's might was weakening with every second this human stood against them. Desperate to reassert control, Zor addressed his forces, his voice booming, trying to drown out the creeping doubt. "Remember who you are," he roared, his tone harsh and demanding. "You are soldiers of the G's Empire. We do not falter before lesser beings. You are a part of something bigger than yourselves." But even as he spoke, his words seemed to fall flat. The effect was diminished. His soldiers glanced at one another, uncertainty clouding their expressions.